If you look at a competitor or somebody else and they've got a fancy vehicle, that vehicle could be financed,
Yes.
as many vehicles in business are. So it's very easy to have a vehicle make it look like success is actually closer or more imminent than the reality of that.
Visibility is a fake metric of success.
Yes.
You should be celebrating the fact that you've got tax to pay because you're obviously doing a business that's running well. Comparison is the thief of joy, and I think as business owners, your best form of comparison is to who you were yesterday.
As business owners and as individuals, we always like to compare ourselves to others, and often we have clients asking us, how do I know if I am doing well? And it is a very tricky question to answer, but we're going to attempt to today, aren't we, mate?
We sure are, and comparison is the thief of joy, and I think as business owners, your best form of comparison is to who you were yesterday.
Nice.
Hey?
That's good.
Hey, that is
good.
Oh, I'm on fire.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm well rested.
Well rested
from the
after
holidays.
break.
Yeah. But you're spot on. And the classic one that I think comes up for business owners, particularly those that are probably more trades-based, is, my margin. How does my margin compare to old Jimmy down the road? I was talking to Bruce at the bar over a handle and a jug of Lion Red and a bit of double brown before punching off to the RSA for their buffet. And he reckoned he was doing 45%, and I got 30%. Am I doing all right? And thinking, no, and then go, my accountant must be shit because I've got a lower GP than you. What's going on? Well, first and foremost, we've got to compare apples with apples, and it's really hard when you've got Johnny and Bruce that are probably plumbers, maybe, but let's say for this particular exercise that they're plumbers, and one might have wages included in their GP calculation, the other might not. The other one might have some components of overheads included up in cost of goods. So who knows? There's so many variables. But to immediately go, hey, doing 45, doing 30, I can't be doing that well, or I'm doing better than so-and-so, we're not comparing the same thing. And I think that's where we've got to go, hang on, Mr. 30% man, let's have a look at your gross profit and go, actually, same period last year, you're actually doing 25, 27, so you're actually doing better because you've got a 3% increase. What are you doing differently in your business? Well, I've increased my prices and I've changed suppliers and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I'm okay, well, what else can we be doing in this space to now change from that 27 to 30 to now 33? And then that's when the light bulb goes on. If you do that a little bit more consistency and it drops to profit, and once it drops to profit, it converts to money in the bank.
And that's what I think people actually want to see.
Yes.
That's how they know whether they're doing well or not.
Absolutely. And it's exactly what I wrote down here. I think the most simplistic way of going, am I doing okay, is can you pay your bills on time? Have you paid all of your tax on time? You don't have any arrears to the IRD, and you've got money in the bank after doing all of that, you're doing okay.
You'd probably be doing better than most.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you would assume should be the basics, but it's not, because business is really hard. You could have cash tied up in paying down debt. You could have cash tied up in debtors. People haven't paid you. So that's where all your profit is. It can get very messy very, very quickly.
I haven't shared this level of detail with you other than one earlier one today, but I think I've had 3 to 4 prospective new clients get in touch already this year. Every single one of them, tax debt.
Really?
Yep.
Far out. It was a big theme in the back end last year, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
All varying degrees. Some of it's GST. None of it is income tax. Some with PAY. Every time I hear PAY, I cringe. I'm just like, oh, God, what's going on? But, yeah, fascinating. And then we're saying to business owners, are you doing okay? I think, hey, look, if you're up to date with your IRD obligations, you're doing fucking well.
Yeah, and this might be fascinating for the listeners, and just what that gets me thinking about, and actually what I was thinking about yesterday, which is good to get that data, is that we have changed some of our marketing instead of a business planning template for people to have access to, which is all good and well, but a lot of people who don't have a business download it. So it ends up, you spend your marketing talking to people who one day would love to start a business and they never do, and you end up with all these emails and leads of people that don't even need to be on the list. And then I was thinking, okay, well, maybe we could help people with cash flow planning.
Yes.
But the danger with that and teaching people about that is I thought, well, it's probably going to attract people that are struggling with cash, right? So then I thought, oh, the quality of the lead could be people that are, struggling with cash and therefore behind on debt and things. And we could then get a flurry of inquiry for people going, oh, they might be able to help me, magic out of this hole,
Yeah.
which may not be the case. So that'll be interesting to track this year. But what we notice with a lot of clients who don't have cash flow issues is that they don't do cash flow planning. But once we do it with them, they say, oh, wow, that's given me a lot more confidence, clarity, and certainty. I'm going to go even faster.
Yeah.
And they don't need to do cash flow planning in their mind because they're thinking, well, I've got money in the bank. I can pay my bills on time. Everything's okay. And we say, yeah, but we want to be forecasting out to see what it's going to look like, predict the money that's going to be in the bank, model out buying assets. Do we finance? Do we pay cash out of working capital? All these sorts of things. They learn a whole lot more and they go, oh, I didn't realize, I don't need to do this to figure out am I going to go broke or not. But this has been really helpful to see how well I'm doing.
I've just had a light bulb moment, mate, just here thinking about, as a business owner, if you're doing okay. And I thought to myself, gee, a business that's doing okay, does it have a business plan or a cash flow forecast? And I was thinking to myself, I reckon if I had to pick one over the other, I'd pick a cash flow forecast.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm like, a business doesn't need a cash flow, a business plan. As much as we're more than happy to help businesses go through the process, and it's very rewarding and they become very successful because they get a lot more clarity and confidence. I think for a lot of business owners out there that just want to get started, and you mentioned it or referred to it on the previous pod, as just like, what does success look like? And I think as a business owner, just pick one thing. And when we went to Queenstown back in September, we've got a profit number in mind. And that for me every day is my reminder of going, that's what success looks like. And then every month, or at the end of, once we've finished, roll the P&L, previous 12 months, have we hit it yet? Because that's the magic marker of just going, right. And it's just like, well, we're close already. So it's just like, right, fucking dog's hungry here. We're going to eat. So that's the marker for success. And it's going, okay, well, that's what we want to achieve. So then we go, well, what are the actions we need to take to get to that number? And then go, okay, well, then the next step as a business owner is going, well, let's just model out the cash flow. And go, right, well, this is what my pipeline looks like. This is what the cash balance, because that will then enable you to make decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing as a business owner that is ultimately going to hold you back or speed up your process is your ability to make decisions faster.
Yeah, and I think something we've touched on before, but it's a good reminder for people. There's no point scaling a business that's broken financially and fundamentally anyway.
Yeah.
So sometimes people will come to us and say, I want to do planning. And it's like, well, we don't want to help you grow that because you need to fix it first. We've got to fix it, then we can grow it. And sometimes modeling out for them where their current financial trajectory is going, they're going, oh, I see what you mean. I'm going to have to fix this.
The classic example was probably one of the very first clients we ever had that we did business planning for, and they wanted to grow and scale the fuck out of this damn thing. And they had all this opportunity, but they had a stack load of leaks in their boat. And it's just like, whoa. Let's actually patch this thing up so it's floating, because you're actually going to make more money by protecting what you've got rather than just growing and scaling the same problems. And that was a big light bulb moment for them.
Yeah, if we can fix the leak, then we don't have to scale and grow and do all this other stuff because we're going to protect the revenue and then the cash in the bank.
Yeah.
Big goals start with planning, and that's why we run 90-day business planning sessions one-on-one with aspirational business owners. Together, we help you set clear targets and start taking action straight away, and action on the things that matter, like pricing, margin, cash flow, ideal customers, and making sure that you're moving the needle to get closer to where you want to be. We've got tons of strong Google reviews in this space, so go and check those out. This could be perfect for you if you're after no fluff business planning and are keen on accountability. If you want to apply to book your 90-day plan, go to nextadvisory.nz and let's see if this is a good fit for you. One of the things that I've seen for clients that I think it's simple for them and they really like is slowly increasing their PAYE salary and actually being able to pay it and then still being able to carry on trading. So they don't necessarily, dive into their P&L every month and like really understand everything, but they know, well, if I can pay myself a PAYE salary and slowly increase that and I don't break the business, they are winning, in their mind, they're like, great, perfect. And I think that is also a simple way to do it. Set a baseline, and might even be a baseline of drawings, and then, okay, what do you need to do to increase that? Because for most people, they are trying to increase the cash that they take home after tax so they can then deploy that to clearing down debt, stacking for investments, buying a property, whatever it may be, normally personal goals that are then achieved via the business.
But Luke, I can hear Derek from Parnell Punishers and Associates in the accounting firm in that central Auckland suburb on the keyboard saying, hey, look, that's not efficient from tax because, you're paying them more, don't have to, keep the tax at the lower 28%. Like, we're playing with, little toys. Like, playing the big leagues, it would be my advice because it's just timing at the end of the day. You're taking up bandwidth as a business owner on worrying about shit that you don't need to worry about. Just make the profit, get the cash, pay the tax, and carry on.
Yeah.
Like trying to save 5 or 6 cents now that you're ultimately going to have to pay in the future, but Derek hasn't told you about, and he's going to charge you a lot more money for fixing the problem in a couple of years' time anyway. You better just to pay the tax now. And I think the psychological thing, which you cannot put a price on that you're referring to, is to go from a salary of 60 or 70 grand and then all of a sudden it's over 100, 120 and the next minute it's 200 grand. That feels massively rewarding as a business owner.
Yeah, and to illustrate that further, I was working with a business owner recently and we're hyper working on their profitability. So the goal is we get them into the top tax bracket and they're retaining a lot of the actual cash of the business back in there so they can live pretty frugally, but they want to build up that cash. But their accountant, we're not the accountant, is playing the game of, oh, no, you don't distribute out the profit. You leave it in the company. We're going to get taxed at 28%. It's way more tax efficient.
Come on, Derek.
And I'm like, Derek's dividend bill is going to be... But showing them, I said, you need to tell your accountant, look, I'm going to be in the top tax bracket in the next couple of years. When you finally declare a dividend for me because I want to take that cash out, you're going to say to me, oh, we've got an 11% shortfall here on your retained earnings from a number of years prior because we were being cute and giving you a $90,000 shareholder salary along the way and keeping everything back at 28%. And I said, mate, at the end of the day, they're going to say sorry. And then you're going to go, oh, yeah, well, that kind of sucks. And then you're going to go, oh, so I have to pay that tax difference. Yeah, you do.
I think it's something that should be celebrated that you're paying tax in the top tax bracket.
Shit, yeah.
Like, that's like fucking, choice. Like, as a business owner, we work hard to make money to pay tax. Yes, as accountants, we try and legitimately minimize a business owner's tax that they do pay. But at the end of the day, you are going to pay tax. That's the reality of it. A really good accountant, and I know a couple, they're sitting in front of you, will help you manage that tax and when it's paid so it doesn't feel like it's a burden. But you should be celebrating the fact that you've got tax to pay because you're obviously doing a business that's running well. The amount of businesses that are out there, and you're reading about it in the amount of liquidations and bits and pieces that are going on that are racking up losses. I mean, you only have to look at big companies like in New Zealand and the warehouse and those ones. I was reading over the summer break, the warehouse racked up a loss of $50-something million in the last, and I'm just like, how do they burn through $50-odd million and where does that money come from? Like, is Heartland at risk here of stumping up $50 million that the warehouse have just gone and blown?
Yeah.
And then you put that in the context of a small business, like, make a profit and pay tax, like, celebrate it.
Yeah, I think it just gets confusing people too when they've got this whole, I'm minimizing my tax. Eventually you're going to have to pay a higher tax rate. And, there's only about 3% of income earners in New Zealand that are in that top tax bracket. So, if you are, you're doing incredibly well. But, I think, not to get too geeky, but recently the IRD came out towards the back end of 2025 and they're basically going to start looking at some of these businesses that deliberately leave their profit in the company at 28%, but then strip all the money out and then what they call overdraw their shareholder current account and kind of go, oh, well, stuff you, what are you going to do about it? They're going to start saying, well, start looking at it closer by the seams and go, you just can't do that. So I think there's going to be even more people that are going to have this realization of got all these retained earnings where you saved tax and only paid it at 28%, eventually it's going to have to be cleared out and then you're going to have another cash impact of, how are you going to pay that difference between 33 and 28 or maybe even 39 and 28?
Yeah, spot on. And I think it's a great piece of like, are you doing okay? Are you paying tax in the top tax bracket and paying it on time? You're doing exceptionally well.
Yeah, I think we could probably do a whole pod on this and I think we should, but I think it's like cash is going to become cool again. Where, for a while it was like cash is trash and now go get more debt and just like get through it. Don't worry too much, play everything on the margins. But the number of clients that recently have said, I just want to have a buffer of cash. I think back to one of our clients who did have a buffer of cash and then needed it when a number of staff ended up leaving at the same time, annual leave, all those sorts of things. They're gutted that their cash went backwards. But there is something incredibly comforting in having a resource when you need it. It's just like when your car runs out of petrol and you do have a full spare few litres or whatever it is to then get you to the petrol station. You just need to then go to the boot, take it out. But if that thing's empty, you're into a level of anxiety. You potentially got to walk. It's going to slow your journey down. Yep, there's a solution, but it's frustrating. And I think more and more businesses, like if they can stack a bit of cash and have it sitting there, not an excessive amount and not like, oh, I've got 63 months of overheads. Like, okay, what are we predicting here? But having some cash to lean on, I think that if you're already doing that, you are probably in the top 5% of businesses, maybe even 3 or 2%. We don't see many businesses that are just sitting on excess cash going, oh, that's just there, should we need it? But then when you start reading about some of these big organizations, a lot of them are sitting on cash. And back to your warehouse, for instance, how do they weather that loss? Well, they have to find a way somehow. So they've either taken on more debt, or they're not paying their debts, or they've built up cash from prior years. Who knows what their situation is? But I think it's something that we'll see more small businesses attempt to do is actually we talked about it years ago, have a shit hits the fan account and actually have some cash in there.
Yep.
For 5 years, I think that's just completely gone out the window.
Sure has.
I'm in survival mode, just trying to get to the next month.
Imagine trying to say over the last 2 years to business owners, hey, how's your shit it's the fan account? You need to be ferreting some cash away.
Yeah.
We would look like absolute fucking lunatics. They'd be like, what are you guys
out
on?
of touch.
Like, what's cash? They're classic sale. Like, what's cash? Where does it come from? No, overdraft. But I think now, as a precursor to how the economy is in the early stages of recovery, I think the reflection here is look back to when things were artificially frothy. We've got to remember, yes, they were frothy, but artificially because it was jacked up by a lot of fake sugar, courtesy of the government. 2 individuals in particular who shall remain nameless. And we've got to look back at that and go, okay, this recovery isn't going to be fueled artificially. It's going to happen hopefully by some just good old-fashioned hustling and business turning its wheels and making some money. When you start getting to that position and you do have the cash, starting to get some discipline. And I think that's the hardest part, is actually being conscious of going, right, I'm going to have a shit hits the fan account and I'm going to consciously put some money and put it aside and not touch it. Because I think it's too easy for business owners to see the cash and then go, oh yeah, I'll upgrade the Ranger.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I'll go and get a boat.
I was talking to a business owner today, actually, and they said, oh, I understand what you mean now, where a little while ago you were saying, oh, don't worry about your competitors because you just don't know, if they're funded by the IRD or what's keeping them going. And he was telling me how 2 businesses that he keeps an eye on have both gone into liquidation.
Wow.
He's like, okay, so that's how that works. So I kind of come up with this thing where, what do? We compare ourselves to fancy vehicles that somebody else is driving, probably a classic business status symbol.
You're like an Audi RS4. Yeah.
or
Certainly not a Tesla.
No, oh, it's got his mum's car. Actually, his nana's, I think. Why is he driving that still? And then lower prices, they're charging less than us. There's 2 things that we often hear. Barry's got, a flash ute, or blah, blah, blah's got the epic car. They must be doing well. I'm over here battling away. Or they won a tender and it's lower than us. We've done it. We went through our calcs 3 times. How the fuck are they doing that? It's 2 things that we always see come up. And I think if you look at a competitor or somebody else and they've got a fancy vehicle, remember that my favourite bank, Heartland, could be the actual owner of that.
Oh, right. I thought you were going to throw someone else under the bus there. But
okay.
Because there's a point I'm coming to. Okay. But carry on.
So that vehicle could be financed.
Yes.
As many vehicles in business are. So it's very easy to have a vehicle make it look like success is actually closer or more imminent than the reality of that.
Visibility is a fake metric of success.
Yes, yeah. And then secondly, okay, if they've got lower prices than you and you are pretty tidy with your numbers and you're going, I don't know how they're making that work, there's a chance that they're not.
Yeah.
And that someone's funding that shortfall and they are buying work and it will come undone. And you're now seeing this through liquidations. And then the ultimate is if those 2 are combined, if they have the fancy vehicle plus are undercutting you, you know for sure that eventually that vehicle is probably going to be going back.
Yeah.
And that can't work. Because if you know how hard it is to do whatever you're doing in your industry at the right margins, profitably, put the money aside, pay the tax, stay compliant with everything, then stack some money for a fancy vehicle. And someone along the lines has got a flashy vehicle and charging less. That's just enough data to go, smells fishy.
Probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're a business owner listening to this and you're just like, I'm not okay because I'm not ticking the boxes that the lads are talking about, it's okay. One concern I do have is, as on the scroll hole of one of the platforms, I believe it was Instagram, again over the holiday break, I got targeted with ads from a business, and I can't even remember the name of it. It's not even one of the ones that we would typically discreetly mug off. You may or may not have seen it, but offering easy access finance. You can get up to X amount of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, unsecured, just fill it out, ease it, and there was started off with a dude, and it was very convincing. Then it came on with a woman. You've seen
these.
it.
I think I screenshotted them.
And she had what sounded to be an Australian accent, and I'm like, this is a New Zealand ad. I'm like, this is fishy as fuck. And I'm just like, if you're a business owner and you're battling and you think short-term easy access cash is your answer, stay the fuck away from it. That is just, you have to. It looks like it's the silver bullet. It is not. It's only going to extend the runway of failure that you're ultimately going to end up closing your doors. Go and get help from a trusted professional, your accountant, somebody, because it can be fixed, but don't bury your head in the sand thinking access to cheap cash is going to solve the problem, because you're just taking on more debt to repay back poor decisions of the past. There's something that's fundamentally broken in your business, potentially, that needs to be addressed, and you've got to change some habits to make sure that you've got a business that you are doing okay, where you're paying your bills on time, you're paying your tax, you're paying yourself a decent PAYE salary, all the stuff that we've spoken about. You can get there, but it requires you to do the work.
And the thing that shits me about that is they're very clever, because they don't say that it's debt. They say you could be eligible for funding.
Yes.
And I read it as, there's a grant that maybe I'm missing out on?
It's gross.
Okay.
And I went to the comments. One of the very first comments was just like, this is AI. And I thought, man, that's fascinating that they thought it was AI. I didn't pick that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just very, very gross. And I was surprised that, one, I was getting targeted in my feed. Maybe it's just because as a business owner, I don't know. But I think if you're a business owner and you've come back from the holidays and you feel like you're struggling, please, just for the love of God, don't click that link.
Yeah, and the other one that I've seen is, put all your tax on, pay it via this, and you'll get air points or something like that. And these are these little silver bullets that sit around the edges that don't address the underlying issues in a business.
Yeah, just stop chasing status.
Yeah. And I can see why people do it, but again, it's like doing the thing that you're not supposed to be doing. Like, follow the person up who hasn't paid you, send the email, knock on the door, do some marketing, like, do the things, improve the margin, increase the prices. Not, okay, I'll fill out this form for business funding. Okay, I might start paying my GST with this and then I'll get some air points. You can't even afford to travel at the moment anyway.
Fuck, if people put as much time and energy as to chasing 1,000 air points as to chasing their next client, how much more successful would the economy be?
Yeah, massive.
It would be so life-changing. But like, I'm just a few points away from getting gold elite status. No one fucking cares about your gold elite status. Go and solve some problems.
You've got us going now.
Yeah.
Hey, you said something really good before about how if these things aren't happening for you, just a reminder too that you could have a profitable business on paper.
Yes.
You could be doing things really well at good margins. You could be crushing your competitors. If you're not turning it into cash, as Phil said at the top of this pod, you're going to feel like it's all for nothing. And that how are you putting a buffer aside if you can't collect the cash because Daryl down the road is not paying you on time? Okay, completely get it. So we did unlock a cash flow training that we did a number of months ago. It's now available on YouTube if you want to go and watch it. There's been a couple of people comment saying, holy shit, I can't believe this is free. Well, yeah, newsflash, it wasn't. So we actually unlocked it. It was a paid workshop that we did. And it wasn't just about cash flow forecasting. We did a lot in there around like tactics to improve your cash flow.
Cool.
And I think those are the sorts of things that you listen to a podcast in a driving state and you sort of, it sounds like a good idea, I get it. But when you sit and you do 2 hours of uninterrupted learning, or maybe chunk it and you go, okay, I could apply that to my business. I'm making sense of that. then you probably find some ways to speed up cash collection in your business, and then it gets you closer to being able to do these things, paying your bills on time, paying yourself a PAYE salary and increasing it, putting a buffer aside, making sure your taxes are all set aside. And that, that is what's needed to actually fix the things in the business to actually have the cash at the end of the month.
On that cash thing, that reminded me of something that we've been working through in recent weeks, and I'm excited for a meeting next week with a client because we help them with some ongoing cash flow planning. And I looked back, and the earlier cash flow planning that we did this time last year said that they would have, for example, using not real figures, $1 million in the bank.
Yeah.
And then we get to 12 months later, what was the actual cash in the bank that we forecasted they'd have $1 million in the bank on? Needless to say, they don't have $1 million in the bank. Far from it.
Oh.
Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of dollars less than what was forecast. And I thought, this is going to be really interesting, and I want to come up with the answer so that I can articulate it to the client. And cash can only go into a number of places, as we know, buckets on the balance sheet. And we've spoken about the sponge concept. And bucket number one, drawings. They've taken a lot more than what was planned. So that ticks that box. The other part of it was a massive soak up of cash being carried in stock and accounts receivable.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if we convert that to cash faster, it goes into the bank account. We'll be closer to the bank balance that we've forecast. That then goes, shit, I'm actually achieving what I thought I was going to achieve. Let's make some more decisions faster on how am I going to deploy that cash and carry on. But by not having that cash there, it's potentially holding this business back from going to its next level.
And they're going to be able to sing a milli, because they could have that milli eventually.
Yeah, what's that song?
Nice. Oh, yeah, don't worry, it's probably
okay.
Drake one. Yeah. A couple of final things for me, mate.
Yep.
One as well is that a very small percentage of businesses that we deal with, and I would say therefore in New Zealand, have a solid pipeline of work that they know, okay, for the next 6 months is what we're going to be doing. Typically, what would you say, like 3 months? If you can get 3 months of pipeline, you're probably feeling pretty confident. If you can get 6, you're an absolute outlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, I think, brings a level of confidence to people. We often say, be careful, though, that you don't just do the work for 6 months and then at month 5 pop up and go, oh, shit, the pipeline's now a month. Yeah, because we stopped focusing on this 5 months ago.
Mate, I reckon pipeline, it comes back to your classic, set a calendar reminder, and it's got to be weekly, fortnightly, whatever it is, cadence, that you get into a habit of going, what is the platform that I'm using for my pipeline in terms of managing? Is it a Google Doc, a sheet? Is it some kind of software? But you've got to have the visibility of it. If you've got the visibility of it, you then need to nurture it and constantly fill it up. And I know on some of the stuff that we've got going on where a lead comes in, it's just like, yes, I know this is a genuine warm lead. And it's just like, right, when did I have the call? Haven't heard from them. Boom, on the text message. Keep nurturing them, keep nurturing, and they'll either go, hey, look, thanks, and I did that over the holidays, come back, somebody got in touch in December, wanted some help with a project, email them, say, hey, look, boom, ready to go, where are you at, da-da-da, look, hey, look, no, don't need any, we're fine with where, if we need anything, we'll get back in touch. I'm like, great, move that one off the pipeline, don't need to worry about it, frees up the bandwidth to then carry on with somebody else.
Yeah, love
Happy days.
And then the next piece as well is if you don't hate the work that you do, you're probably doing well. Because honestly, the number of businesses that we speak to, and they hate a portion of their business, and we try and help them fix that bit and get them out of that. But I think it's becoming increasingly common to fall out of love with your business because it's not delivering to you what you would want it to financially. And I think that's actually the big problem. It's not delivering to you what you want financially.
Yeah.
So then you think you hate your business. No, you hate the fact it's not delivering to you what you wanted from it financially. So if we fix that, will you love your business more? Yes. Yes, I will. Okay, great. So you don't hate your business. We've got to figure out the pieces that we do hate about it. And someone said to me the other day that they just like deliberately put their prices up on an annoying client, and that makes them feel better because it's just a bit more stomachable. And I'm like, okay, well, a bigger win, wouldn't it be let them go? Like if you really don't like them, like should we pass them on? And I didn't hear back, but I think a lot of us tolerate things in our business where we think, oh, we can't fix it, or we can't go back, or we can't undo it. I think we can.
After listening to what Luke has just said, could you replace business with you?
What did I say? So in what?
So like, what do you hate about yourself?
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Like, because your business is a reflection of you,
That's fair. Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, so it's something that you're not doing, an action that you're not taking. So it sits on your shoulders. Why are you being a little pussy about it?
Yeah, and it could be tolerating a type of client or type of work that you really don't want to be doing. Like only you are going to solve that, you know? It's the old classic in business planning. Well, what's the roadblock here? Probably you, you know? So yeah, it probably comes back to you're frustrated because you didn't set out to be dealing with this type of person or be getting paid this. You wanted it differently, but you're not willing to do something about it. So then you're fighting this internal conflict that you're not willing to change it, but you're calling it a business problem.
Spot on. Oh, well, mate, 2026 is going to be an interesting year, and it'll be fascinating to see how many businesses move onto the side of the ledger that they are doing okay, because I suspect that there's a lot out there that aren't and want to be, and there is a solution.
Yeah, yep. And we've seen a large number of people getting in touch around business planning and thinking through to their future. So there obviously are a lot of business owners that are out there that are doing well. They would like to be doing better. And those are the types of people that we love hearing from, because there is often untapped opportunity in those businesses that they just can't see, and they need a second set of eyes to help them see it.
Sure is. Bring it on.